As you know, on Sunday night or Monday morning of every week, we post a new expository semiotics explaining why we would choose which lectionary readings. But in these readings, our dream is, and our desire is, to help you read the signs and fondle the details and spot the seminal metaphors, the condensed signs and the stories that are key for preaching to a digital culture. So strap on your seatbelt and join us as we prospect our passages for today. Welcome to Lectionary Vlog number 47, the 7th of February, 2021. Big day today called Super Sunday for a variety of reasons, one of which we'll talk about a little later. But we've got some great passages, and I'm excited to explore them with you and to look at them a little deeper. The First Testament reading is from Isaiah, the 40th chapter, verses 21 to 31. And this is this great passage where have you not known? Have you not heard? Has it not been told to you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants are as grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens as a curtain and spreads them out as a tent to dwell in. He brings the princes to nothing. He makes the judges of the earth meaningless. And so this is a great passage about the greatness of God, and God just reminding us how awesome God is, and the distance between the Creator and the creation. We are creatures of the Creator. And this is a wonderful passage to remind us of it. And then it ends, of course, with this wonderful passage that in many ways was actually used as kind of an icon. You can have a word icon and an image icon. And this was a word icon that found its place on the walls of many homes and many churches. But those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So that's how this passage kind of comes to a pitch perfect. The psalm is Psalm 147, and this is this psalm about how God binds the brokenhearted. He heals their wounds, and the Lord lifts up the downtrodden. So it's a reminder of God's special care and compassion for the weak and the broken. The Mark passage, we're still in Mark 1. We've been in Mark 1 for 3 weeks, and this is we're going to conclude coming out of Mark 1 with this reading. But it's the story of the healing of Simon's mother-in-law, and once again, part of the proclamation, the earliest proclamation. We think of the proclamation of Jesus, we think, of course, words, but part of that proclamation, the earliest proclamation, was healing. And so here Jesus is, as part of his proclamation, healing and showing the sozo Jesus component that is so important and that we've talked about before. And then the real one I want to dig deep in is this 1 Corinthians passage. The passage from the 9th chapter, verses 16 to 23. And let's just read it here together. Though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to boast of, for the requirement is laid upon me. I have no choice. Woe is me if I do not preach the gospel. So if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, I have been entrusted with a commission. That's a key word, entrust. What is my reward then? Truly, that when I preach the gospel, I may present the gospel of Christ without charge, so that I may not abuse my authority in the gospel. For though I am free from all men, I have made myself servant to all, that I might win even more. To the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might win the Jews. To those who are under the law, as under the law, that I might win those who are under the law. To those who are outside the law, as outside the law, being not without God's law, but under Christ's law, that I might win those who are outside the law. To the weak I became as weak, that I might win the weak. Here it is. I have become all things to all people, that I might by all means save some. This I do for the gospel's sake, that I might partake of it with you. Let me just repeat that again. Did you get it? I become all things to all people, by all means, so that I might save some, or even one. You got this refrain here, all. But you go all out with a realization that you're not going to get all. You're only going to get some. And sometimes you're only going to get one. All. This word all. This word of going all out. Are you all in? Are you all there? This word all. Giving 100%. All. Not expecting the outcome of all. Not all are going to like you. Not all are going to listen to you. Not all are going to believe you. Not all are going to accept you. But you, me, we go all out. We are all in. We are all there. We go all out. All things to all people, by all means, so that we might save some. I want to just a little bit just focus on that word all, that concept of 100%, because we seem to be able to go 100% and want to go 100% in a lot of areas, except when it comes to our faith. Well, good's good enough. 50% is good enough. And I was thinking about this when the playoff games last weekend, where the Fox News, Fox Sports, was interviewing Davante Adams, Davante Adams, the Kansas City wide receiver. And the sportscaster, who himself had played wide receiver, all of a sudden started talking about sushi. And I'm like, this is a pregame show, and suddenly we're in a sushi conversation. And he said that he had just watched a Netflix special on Jiro, Jiro. I don't know whether to pronounce it in Japanese, hero or Jiro, but it's David Gelb's documentary, Jiro Dreams of Sushi. It's a 2012 documentary of the greatest sushi master in the world. He's in Tokyo. In his 80s, he's now 95, and he's still doing sushi. He's still every day doing sushi. And he has a restaurant of 10 seats. That's it. But you got to sign up like a year in advance to get a seat. You got to make reservations a year in advance. And Davante Adams was being asked by this other sportscaster. I can't remember his name right now that was doing the asking. But he said that the thing that struck him in this interview with Jiro was that everything he did was all about sushi. He went to bed at night and thought about sushi. He got up in the morning and thought about sushi. He had dreams and he dreamed about sushi. That everything was about sushi. He lived for sushi. And if you look at the special, and you can get it on either Amazon Prime or Netflix, one of the quotes that this Jiro said is, "I don't care about money. I care about sushi." And every day is ecstasy when I care about sushi. I mean, here was a life totally dedicated, devoted to sushi. And Davante Adams was being asked, do you identify anything with that kind of dedication and obsession in your role as a wide receiver? And Davante Adams says, oh, absolutely. I'm in the kitchen and I'm thinking about new and different moves, and I'm suddenly I'm just walking around and suddenly I'm doing these patterns and I'm creating new routes. And he said, it's totally on your mind constantly. There's nothing, it's all about, and I'm listening to this and I'm going, have I ever heard a disciple of Jesus talk like this? It's all about Jesus. I can't, before I go to bed at night, when I get up in the morning, I dream it. I want to be a better disciple. Everything is all about being a better, well, we got sushi today, Super Bowl. We got football, total dedication. But what about Jesus? I want to fall deeper in love with Jesus every single day of my life, and I'm just dedicating everything. I want to be a master disciple. Have you ever heard this? What has happened to us? Now, we used to have a way of talking about this. And the language was the doctrine, we call it sanctification. You know, you got prevenient grace, but then you got three major: justifying grace, sanctifying grace, and glorifying grace. And we used to talk about sanctifying grace. Wesley called it the doctrine of Christian perfection, as going on to perfection, always trying to be better as a disciple. And Wesley defined perfection. Here we're talking about perfect love. How can I love better? Now, we're not talking about sushi. We're not talking about, we're talking about love. How can I be a better lover? How can I love my neighbor better? How can I love God better? How can I love you better? How can I love myself? It's all about love and being a master at this love craft. But we don't talk that way anymore. In fact, you start talking about perfection among Christians, and everybody gets a little nervous. Well, nobody's perfect. You know. Well, okay, yeah, but let me tell you, what should our aim be? Here's a sushi guy that wants every day of his life to be better, better master at sushi. His dream is the perfect sushi roll. He dreams about the perfect sushi roll. There are so many books. Let me tell you. How about the perfect gift? How about the perfect wedding? How about the perfect party? How about the perfect marriage? How about the perfect match? Oh, we're all right with that kind of perfect. Or let's, how about the perfect apple pie? Actually, there's actually a study out there, how to make the perfect apple pie. I know people that are obsessed with the perfect credit score. How can I get the perfect credit score? And they dedicated their time and money to, I want the perfect credit score. How about the perfect golf swing, anybody? Oh, how many thousands of dollars are spent on the perfect golf swing? How many thousands of dollars? The perfect getaway. Oh, we want the perfect getaway. Or we were built on a more perfect union. I love gospel quartet music, and they search for the perfect harmony. What does it mean to be in perfect harmony? Or in the church, we want the perfect order. That's good old St. Robert's is helping us with that, Robert's Rules of Order. Or how many tens of thousands of dollars are spent on getting the perfect nose? Plastic surgery? Or how about the perfect smile? The perfect teeth, the perfect body. Home gyms are big now. You're turning your living room into gyms because nobody's going to gyms because of the COVID. So we're making our homes so we can get the perfect body. Or Deepak Chopra's book, The Perfect Health. Or how about perfect happiness? Well, the Bible talks about perfect love. Perfect love casts out fear. The Bible talks about perfect peace. That will keep him in what? Perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on. See, there are some aspirations to perfection that we ought not to be afraid of, that we ought to embrace as Davante Adams embraces the perfect route, and as Jiro, the Japanese 3-star Michelin sushi restaurateur, dreams of the perfect sushi roll. I don't use this software Word. I use WordPerfect. Now, I use WordPerfect for a bunch of, this is so ancient. Well, I still have, you dance with the one that brought you, and I still have an AOL account for my email. So I got AOL and I got WordPerfect. I've justified it now a little bit, but so here's my justification, but this is true. WordPerfect. Why do I love WordPerfect better than Word so much? Because you can go, in WordPerfect, you can't do this in Word. You can go back in to the codes themselves, and you can change the codes to make them original, pure, and clean. In other words, all of the corruptions and all of the additions, you can wipe them all out and get to the purity, the sublime, true, original code that cleans up that whole document and makes it Word perfect. You say, well, that's an awful big aspiration for perfection. Surely it doesn't have to be perfect. 95% is good enough. Well, really? Voice activation software has kind of stalled because it's 95% accurate. And you say, well, that's pretty good. No, 95% accurate, that means it's 5% inaccurate. So 5% inaccurate when it comes to giving directions to a vehicle, which way to go, that can cost you your life. When it comes to getting the right medicine and the right dosages, that 5% imperfection can cost you your life. 5% is a matter of life and death. Well, 99.9%, surely that's good enough. Well, really? I'm giving you some statistics. I did not compile this, but a Canadian company, Communications Division of Insight, the Syncrude Canada Limited, did this. They did this research. And here's when 99.9% may not be good enough. Are you ready? If 99.9% were good enough, then you'd have 107 incorrect medical procedures performed by the end of the day today in the United States. If 99.9% were good enough, then 2 million documents will be lost by the IRS this year. Now, we may like that, but if 99.9% were good enough, then 22,000 transactions will be deducted from the wrong bank accounts in the next 60 minutes. If 99.9% were good enough, then 268,500 defective tires will be installed on cars this year, ready to blow up any second. If 99.9% is good enough, then 291 pacemaker operations will be performed incorrectly, installed in your heart. If 99.9% were good enough, then 20,000 incorrect drug prescriptions will be written in the next 12 months. If 99.9% were good enough, then 2 landings a day at Chicago's O'Hare Airport would put every passenger's life in danger. If 99.9% were good enough, 12 babies would be given to the wrong parents every day. There is a reason Jesus says, be perfect, even as your heavenly Father is perfect. It's not that we are perfect, but our dreams, our aspirations, our ambitions. Paul at one point tells the church that you made it your ambition to have no ambition. No, our ambitions are for God and are for greater love and greater mercy and greater faith and greater hope. Lord, make me as perfect a vessel as I can be today. And So we have a Sushi Master who has dedicated his life to the perfect sushi roll. And he only, when you go to his restaurant, he has no appetizers. He has no liquor, no sake. He only has 3 courses of sushi. The perfect sushi rolls. 20 per customer per meal. Each one original. All simplicity, all purity, all about sushi. All day, every day, in every way, all he thinks about is sushi. All day, every day. What if we just dedicated ourselves to deeper dimensions of loving God, loving our neighbor, loving this creation that God has given to us? You see, it's called WordPerfect, because that's who Jesus is. The perfect Word. And we follow WordPerfect. And we aspire all things to all people in all ways, but knowing that we will fall short and only save some. And even then, we're not doing the saving. And then sometimes it's only even one. But it's all about this perfect love that casts out fear. And that is dedicated, devoted, disciplined to falling deeper and deeper in love with Jesus. And letting him live his resurrection life in and through us. So you can count on one thing. For the rest of my life, I will be using this one software system called WordPerfect as a symbol of what I want my life to be. All about Jesus. Semiotics is the art of angling, of turning things askew, upside down, inside out, cattywampus, sunny side up, over easy, scrambled, hard-boiled. We hope you enjoyed today's journey, but always remember, it's more important you prepare the preacher than you prepare the sermon.